Confession time. This is actually among my favorite episodes in this particular arc, which I know is kind of silly and stupid in its own right. But the hard truth is just, I really like the way this goes with several things, even though it kind of apes episode 3 in several respects. Oh, I should also mention openly that I actually was misremembering the sister situation, with Bo-Katan being the sister of Satine, not the other way around. Sorry, so that was my mistake. I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments correcting me, but I thought I'd openly acknowledge that. I like, I like the idea that in the beginning she's literally desperately trying to get away, like, oh god, I've got to get out of range of the blocker. And it's just a matter of feet at the end. It's like, aha, I can send a message. Like, it would have actually made more sense to me if they would cut away just like for a second to some guy in the background who's watching her, who just has this device. He just kind of goes, and then it cuts to her and she's like, aha, I have signal. And then she's, ah, yes, please help me. And then he cuts it off again. I do like the interesting politics of the situation. See, what we have is a neutral planet in a neutral system at the head of a neutral alliance that has nothing to do with the Separatists or the Republic, which means there's no political weight behind the Republic militarily getting involved, which means there's no weight behind the Jedi getting involved, because, as I've discussed many times before, the Jedi only operate at the purview of the Republic. They are affectionately an arm of the government at this point, right? That by itself feels like I could do an entire discussion on that concept. The very fact that the Jedi Order is an arm of the Republic government. But ignoring that, what I want to talk about is the interesting idea of unsanctioned actions. I know that sounds like a weird thing to bring up, but to me it seems like it would be logical if there was this concept whereby within the Jedi could send out individual Jedi, or to be slightly more accurate, not prevent individual Jedi from operating without the sanction of the Order. Now, this would probably necessitate the fact that they wouldn't have most of the actual resources and supplies and otherwise connections of the Jedi Order to draw from. But it would also give the Jedi Order the ability to operate in situations where they don't have the legal jurisdiction to do so. And I know what you're thinking, well, that sounds horrible, and it certainly could be, but this exact situation is exactly the kind of illegal situation that I'm referring to. The fact that they could send a Jedi to assist in what is clearly a threat to overall galactic security. Not just because of Satine, but because of the fact that the crime families are taking over a planet at the head of a major neutral alliance. This is a galactic significant event right here. I mean, this is basically a black op, definition. So you can't tell me the Jedi couldn't get involved in that way. And yet, what I notice is that they all say, no, we can't officially get involved, and yet Obi-Wan faces no particular obstacles to heading out here, or any repercussions to my knowledge. And of course, Anakin actually lends him a ship to go on this thing, which to me means maybe he literally did do exactly that, and this is functionally a Jedi black op. Or wet op, I suppose. I'd have to debate that. I do love the best lies are the ones that are actually the truth. So Obi-Wan comes out in this bumbling, falling apart ship, and he's just like, oh my god, no, yes, this, don't worry, this ship isn't mine, it's a friend of mine's. Okay. I mention that, though, because the lie here is that Obi-Wan is not the incredibly competent individual that he is. And so the Mandalorian's just like, all right, I'll go aboard your ship, which normally would be a very stupid thing to do, because this guy's no threat to him, right? So I like the fact that Maul is just, I've mentioned this before, he wants so badly to be the super powerful Doom like Palpatine was. Palpatine was the only person he really had to couch him, to guide him, to instruct him on how he should be under these circumstances. By the way, did you notice the little reference to the fact that, you know, Obi-Wan is aware of how Maul was, I guess the word conscripted is what I want to use here. Anyways. So he lets things slip beyond his control. Now, to explain what I mean by that, I don't want to go into all the specifics because these are supposed to be shorter, but he allows Obi-Wan and Satine to get to their ship, then orders it down, and allows for the possibility that they might have either actually gotten away, or been able to subvert or deflect the attack, or been unable to survive the crash, etc., etc. In other words, he doesn't actually have control of the situation. Palpatine generally does. Palpatine usually operates by a medium of, I control the entire board, therefore I know how to progress through. It's easy to play chess if you are both black and white at the same time, right? Maul, by contrast, is like, I have this great plan. I'm going to let them come, and it'll only be Obi-Wan because I let Satine do the mission, you know, the voice thing, and then he will come, and then I'll kill him. You know, there's no actual subtlety or nuance there. I'm not insulting Maul per se, but you can see how he is trying to emulate without a proper understanding of the reality of it. Now, I also have to mention... Maul makes a huge mistake here, ignoring the fact that he provokes Obi-Wan, which will eventually cause him issues. The fact of the matter is he gets his revenge on Obi-Wan. Credit to both the voice actor, by the way, and the animators. Maul looks supremely satisfied with his revenge. Just, oh, you could just see him soaking in it, right? And... I mean, I'm not a big revenge person, so I can't speak to that specifically. I was legitimately upset at the death of Satine, but then again, I'm actually one of those people who actually like Satine. I know, I'm a weirdo. But what really caught me is he stretches so far, and he gets the attention of big fish. See, here's the thing with Maul. Maul is a little fish. Actually, it'd be argued to say he's actually like a middle fish, but still, he is not in the big leagues. This is ever the problem when it comes to basically anything. Like I could give so many parallels to this. When you are like this tiny little person, either you're a country or a nation or a Jedi or whatever, and you just grow and grow and grow in strength, the moment you get to the point of actually being potentially a risk, or indeed getting the attention of the actual big fish, well, congratulations, now you have their attention. They might use you, but they're probably just going to crush you. And that's exactly what happens in this episode. The episode then immediately shifts perspective, because Obi-Wan's story in this is effectively done. Satine is dead. Obi-Wan did this all for nothing. And she apparently really did love him. And this is going to sound horrible, but given all of the garbage that Obi-Wan has had to go through his life, it's kind of a shame he never got to have an actual retirement. A good retirement, as I like to say, a retirement with her. That would have been kind of nice, you know. Anyways... So, yeah, he gets the attention of Palpatine. Maul does. This leads Palpatine to come out. And actually, before I start talking about Palpatine really quick, I love the fact that Bo-Katan's method of killing someone was to connect them together with the wiring, set one of their jetpacks off, and just kind of watch. I like her. I have a term. It's not quite a lorium, but it technically is a lorium. I've just never put it up on the website. It's called death walking. Now, the definition of death walking is that you have to be so good, so powerful, skilled, in control, or a combination thereof, that you can walk through your enemy. No effort, no difficulty. To explain what I mean, let me use World of Warcraft as an example. I know. Just hear me out. In WoW, if I'm level 60... and I'm doing Molten Core, which is level 60 raid, that is something I can do. It's difficult. You know, I need a group of people to do it with me, but I can do that. I am capable of doing that. It's just, it's okay, and then my health's low, and I gotta heal. You know, I have to put effort into it. If I'm level 100 walking through Molten Core, I am now death walking, because I could literally toggle walk and just walk through there, and nothing in there can cause any significant problem or threat to me. That's death walking. And it's a concept that fiction, in general, doesn't actually do all that often, so I tend to enjoy it when it's well done. That is Palpatine at the end of this episode. He just kind of casually walks his way through the situation. You know, the Mandalorian's like, "Who are you?" And they're dead. And he just kind of casually gets on. He doesn't have any entourage. He doesn't have any group, no team, no people, no guards. I sense a presence, because they quote Star Wars all over the place in this episode. Oh my God. Notice his first reaction is, "Master!" and fear. Maul himself has actually called Palpatine the most powerful individual in the galaxy, and with good reason. And Maul just rushes forward, bows down. "Oh my God, yes, I've done all this to be unto you." I legitimately find myself wondering if there was any legitimacy in his statement. Like, if he really was doing this to try and get back into Palpatine's good graces. Or if he was saying that in the moment out of stark terror, because that's frickin' Palpatine, who then decides to go ahead and fight Savage and Maul at the same time. Now, we have seen Savage and Maul lose a fight before under pretty specific circumstances. Obi-Wan and Criminal Winnie the Pooh, I can't think of his name all of a sudden, both were a good example of of Maul and Savage losing at the same time. But I think that's basically it. Maul is very good, and Savage is the monstrous beast of doom. His entire thing is just raw power. So, Palpatine effortlessly crushes them. This is actually in the running for my favorite lightsaber fight in the entirety of Star Wars. No joke. That's why I'm taking so long talking about this. Because I absolutely adore the symbolism, the presentation of Palpatine, the culmination of Savage's character arc, what is effectively the culmination of this particular character arc for Maul. And, of course, this entire thing serves as a reminder of the nature of not only Sith mentality, but of just political reality and personal power reality. Or political power reality and personal power reality. Again, Maul got the attention of someone a lot bigger and a lot scarier than him. And Palpatine just plays with them. He's just like, and you can tell he's just laughing and grinning. No. Yeah, no, you're not going to do this one. Sorry. The one and only time they even got a hit on him was to knock him away. He immediately recovers and says, "Why don't you come with?" Which just indicates to me either that he is that dynamic and rolling with it, or he already planned for that. He let them hit them so he could drag them out to the new arena. Then he, once again, effortlessly fights them down. And then he decides to split them up because it's time to go ahead and show them a lesson. So pushes Maul over to the side and goes after Savage without igniting his lightsabers. Actually turns his lightsabers off. Just to show how outclassed Savage really is. Effortlessly dodges, bypasses, and then matches him with pure raw strength, knocks him back, takes a moment just to make sure Maul's watching, and stab. Of course, the whole point of this is the cruelty of it. You'll notice Maul's immediate reaction is not "my servant" or "my apprentice," as he's been getting more and more in that direction throughout the course of this arc. Rather, his reaction is "brother," because he actually did care. For all of his auspices, Darth Maul is probably closer to a dark Jedi than a Sith after all, and I know a lot of people are going to have grievances with me saying that, but some of you get my point. So, of course, Maul rushes over to his dying brother, all of the magic seeping out of Savage, returning him back to the way he normally was. And then Maul rages on Palpatine. Pay attention, by the way. This is the only time Palpatine actually has to try in this entire encounter. When Maul is going full tilt, purely enraged, completely pumped up on the dark side. And then you'll notice Palpatine stops playing and laughing and toying with him, but actually has to. He's got an expression of actual concern and concentration on his face, and is actually fighting back. And it gets to the point where he actually just stops the fight. He just, nope, fling, and he just stops the fight because, all right, I've had my fun. This is getting too dangerous. And then, of course, Maul is beaten. And Maul says, "Mercy, mercy." Oh, no. Don't worry. I'm not going to kill you. I have plenty of other uses for you. And then the episode ends.